Hello everyone, welcome again to another FSD drive in Singapore. Today we have a drive via Mandai onto BKE and then PIE. The weather was fantastic. I had my windows down. The sky was beautiful, so pretty much enjoy the drive. Again, please take note, when we are on city streets, it's on autopilot. So most on Mandai will be on autopilot. Where we merge onto the highway, FSD will engage, and when FSD engages, you will see a single blue line down the screen. So that is when FSD is engaged. Otherwise, it's autopilot, and that is two blue lines on the screen. So we've reached the merge, okay, from Mandai onto BKE. Now I enjoy doing these videos because they are a bit more technical. You really get to see the limitations of the current version of FSD, which is the one we have in Singapore is the much older one. So in the States, they have the version of FSD that is way ahead of ours. So this is not FSD beta, and in Singapore, you don't navigate on autopilot in the city streets. You only get it on the highway. So what I want you to look out for is how autopilot transitioned into FSD as it merged into the highway. So a point to note, right? Sometimes when the gap gets a bit too far, I actually do feather the pedals, because when traffic is heavy, I don't want to be holding up the road. So I do feather the pedals every now and then to just give autopilot a push that is, hey, it's okay. So now you see my two lane lines has just changed into one single blue line straight down the middle of the road. So this means that FSD is now enabled. So the merge here was surprisingly good, and then this is where FSD lost it, right? I think FSD mainly lost it because the two lanes were merging, and then for some reason it just kept trying to drive to the center of the lane, even though there was a BMW on my right. So over here, I took over because it was steering straight into the BMW, and I wouldn't let FSD go any further. So if you see traffic here, this is where in time to come, FSD has to improve, right? In the real world driving, you see that by right, there should only be one vehicle in both lanes right now, but you see there's only one lane and there are two vehicles, and such situations would cause FSD to kind of freak out because they'll be wondering, it's just a one lane road, why are there two vehicles straddling the same lane? And then you have bikes that weave in and out, and she knew that she should not have done that. She even apologized for that maneuver, so oh well. Yeah, so once I've merged into lane, I re-engage autopilot. So for those of you who are unaware of this intersection, we need to cut straight to the middle lane immediately after we come out from this merge into the highway. There isn't much time, and when traffic is heavy, you have to be very aggressive to get you out of this lane, because this lane, if you drive straight, will get you to KJE. So on multiple occasions, FSD has not been able to get to the center of the lane. I think this is just a localization setting. Maybe they should have like a Southeast Asia setting where FSD just goes into berserk mode or full aggressive mode. Yeah. So there you have it. I'm trying to give FSD the push, right? So there was one lane opening there, but the car beside me actually sped up, so it was not able to go in. Now over here, I'm trying to find gaps to get FSD to do a lane change. So if you see the gap here right now, I tried to push FSD to take the gap, but it wouldn't do it. So same as here again. When I try to push it too much, it disengages. At the end of it, I realized the lane was ending, so I decided to take over the wheel myself. Again, when you drive, please make sure to check your blind spots, and don't slow down the vehicle behind you when you merge, right? Yeah, so I managed to get myself out pretty quick. It will take FSD some time to do such maneuvers, mainly because it's a setting thing, right? Like in Singapore, we don't really give way. You have that 1 second to decide whether or not you want to take the lane, and if you don't take the lane, someone else is going to accelerate. So FSD needs a way more aggressive setting in Singapore. So change of lanes are fine. Most of the drive, I will not prompt FSD to do any lane change. I will let them tell me what to do. So all I do is monitor the surroundings to make sure that it's safe to do whatever FSD is trying to do. Because at the end of the day, I just want to monitor what FSD wants to do and try to understand its drive. So from here on, once the road is clear and you don't have to do much lane changes, or just minor lane changes, FSD is great, right? Like it just keeps going. It's safe. It pings you when something is going wrong. Yeah, more or less. FSD is great when traffic is moderate. Now over here, I want you to watch the rear cameras on the left and the rear view mirror. Watch how this bike cuts in between the van and our vehicle, alright? And I'm allowing FSD to drive, and when FSD drive, it is dead center in the lane. And this lorry, the van on the left, was actually driving quite to the right of the lane. And this bike, look at him. He is just gonna cut through it. And I'm sorry, that was a Malaysian bike, right? So that's gonna be a common thing in Malaysia. So I would love to see FSD handle this in Malaysia when there's not just one of them. So anyway, FSD did fine. You know, it did not slow down. It did not panic. It knew that there was enough space for the bike to go through. Yeah, I was genuinely surprised by this. And then over here you have a overtake on the left because someone is hogging the lane. This is just bad manners in Singapore, right? More guys suggest, I mean, if you don't need the lane one, just keep to the left. So even for myself, right, like because I'm driving on FSD, I'm not going as fast. So yeah, I put up the speed just to make sure I'm keeping up with traffic. So again, another bike pass, and it's quite interesting because when the bikes do pass us, they are actually in our lanes. I'm surprised that FSD knows that the bike is going at a speed that is either similar or faster than us, and it will not brake. So I guess that took some time for them to get it right, but I'm impressed. So you saw we drove past sort of like an overhead pass earlier. Just to note that FSD actually doesn't work in the tunnels. If you have a long stretch of tunnel, FSD will disengage and go into autopilot. So for those of you who are exploring using AP or FSD, please just be careful. So this bend, AP took the left lane. I did not ask you to take the left lane. All I'm doing here is to lower the speed just to make sure that my max speed is not too high for this bend. So I think AP took this bend pretty well. One thing about how the FSD or AP takes a lane change, it always likes to stick to the middle of the lane. And because you constantly try to stick to the middle of the lane, you realize that at times the vehicle slows down when the bend becomes sharper at a certain angle. It's just the way FSD drives. Again, because they have to stick to the dead center, I really feel something has to be done about this portion about sticking to the dead center of the lane. So we have a nice merge over here. Pretty aggressive. The car went all the way to the max speed. Yeah, there's a nice lane change. So again, for every lane change, I have to confirm the maneuver. I have to check my blind spot, and then I have to put on my indicators, and then I nudge my wheel. So I'm actually checking more often to allow FSD to do a lane change. So there's a lane change coming up. Again, it was a FSD prompt. I did not initiate the lane change. FSD wants to keep left, and that's because we have a left turn coming up in about 2 kilometers. Yeah, again, this is one portion which I feel it keeps to the left a little bit early, right? Maybe we're just a bit impatient, but if I were driving, I would still be on the center of the lane and I'll still be going straight all the way. Yeah, but anyway, I think if you're just going to enjoy the drive, this is fine, right? In any case, it's because I drive quite a lot, so I know that up front there'll be traffic, so that's the reason why I don't keep left. Again, you see, FSD likes to keep to the center of the lane. Well, it's great, right? It's not human to keep dead center in the lane, but it does mean that if you have a bike that's on the left of the lane, FSD will not pass it, right? But if any of you were driving, it's very normal for us to just drive and then lean to the right of the lane and just pass the bike. Like, that's pretty much normal driving behavior in more or less Singapore or Malaysia. So yeah, over here, the jam, there was a jam. Yeah, it took quite a while. I refused to take over, right? I just wanted to let FSD do the drive. So, well, I did lose my patience in the end, so just watch the video. So again, for any of you who are going to use FSD, take note that when you have lane mergers, or when one lane splits into 2 lanes, especially if the lane becomes very wide all of a sudden, sometimes FSD may not get it. Okay, in this instance, FSD actually got it, right? You saw how FSD kept to the right of the lane, which is quite amazing. It either saw the lane lines up front, or it realized that because there was a vehicle in front to tail, it was tailing the vehicle in front. Yeah, I'm sorry guys, I lost it here. I decided to take a different exit. I was in a queue for a long time and I was not going to line up with all the cars over here. So no more FSD from here. Pretty much I took over. So I hope you enjoyed today's FSD drive. If you like what you're watching, please just share, like, or leave a comment. At the end of the day, what I want is to make sure that everyone uses any of this technology responsibly, right? Please always pay attention to the road and eyes on the road. Don't use your phones. Engaging any of these driver assistance does not mean that you can doze off while driving. Alright guys, so enjoy. Have a great week ahead.